First, let's talk about the accounting shortage, right? One of the main reasons you should be entering accounting is because there's a shortage. When there's a shortage, wages go up. And not only do wages go up, working conditions improve in theory. But especially for those of you who are self-employed, there really is not a better time. I remember the 90s and you couldn't find a job. You'd find one, but you'd have to send out hundreds of resumes. If if you just show up on time and are presentable and you got the tools and the talent, uh, there's a tremendous opportunity and the dream shot of being self-employed. And with the advent of the internet, you get to work remote. So if you are a slightly savvy 20 something and you got a good work ethic, you can avail yourself of this shortage. But let's understand what's happening at the shortage. All right. One, again, not don't have time for political correctness. We have time for truth. Young people aren't working and they aren't as reliable. The best thing you got going for your career in any field right now is young people don't want to work and they don't want to show up. I ain't saying corporations are all that fair or honest either. We'll talk about how they're posting fake job postings and all that. I get it. But if there is a job, you don't show up for it, the person who does show up for it on time will. We still, to this day, despite my generation and the millennials majoring in about 85% of the degrees being conferred being completely worthless, young people still continue to this day to believe in the easy way, follow your heart and money will follow, and you're going to make six figures as a political science major. People are not majoring in accounting. They're not majoring in buying stuff. They're not majoring in what's in hard. And that's good for you. Because remember, there is no easy way. There's only the really hard way and the hard way. And you're choosing the hard way, which is actually the easy way. So I can't guarantee down the road you're going to be making six figures, but you show up on time, you get a degree in accounting, and you do the boring stuff up front. You're not going to be working for $13 an hour in tips as a barista. The boomers are retiring, in part because of age and in part because they don't want to deal with it anymore. The tax code is getting more complicated. Working at corporations is becoming less and less tenable. More corporate politics, more BS in general. Some of them just can't. They're losing their minds, or just simply age is catching up to them. They don't have the energy. And this is happening across different industries. And these guys and gals are the ones that have all the experience. They're the ones who could bang out 3 tax returns, and it takes the time for a rookie to do one. And so as these people leave, the capacity for the overall accounting industry is going to decrease disproportionately. And again, if you're there, if you're putting in a little bit of extra work, you got a little side business going on, be there to capture the increasing number of clients that the industry is going to be failing to serve. There's absurd education requirements. They have come out with several reports, they being different accounting professional organizations, whether it's the accounting standards boards, different state CPA societies. We can't find people. Oh my gosh, there's a shortage. How do we find people? And then you could watch it. Me and Chad have done videos on this. We've done podcasts where you look at the recommendations. None of it is stop requiring master's degrees, stop requiring 60 to 100-hour work weeks, train people, training programs. They go a long way in saying, okay, you need an associate, we're bringing in and we're training you. But none of those things, absolutely none of them ever make the list. It's all things like, we just need to raise awareness in high school. Let them know that accounting is cool and hip. It's like, why don't you just try and sell Christian rap is cool? Go ahead, try it. Go ahead, sell it. While you're doing that, while you're trying to make accounting sound cool, sell some Christian rap albums while you're at it. The leadership of the accounting industry is so far removed from the economic reality of the labor market that, in other words, I think the shortage will continue. There is no indication they're going to lessen the educational requirements and the sitting requirements and the certificated qualification requirements. It's just, the shortage will continue. The tax code is getting more complicated, and that's driving some of the old timers out. And there is a little bit more to learn. There's no doubt about that. Um, and then those that do remain in accounting, they're overworked. So it creates this feed on itself effect where people aren't entering the market as much or people are dropping out. The amount of work don't change, but now it has to be done by a fewer amount of people. That causes burnout. They drop out. And then there's even more work per person in the accounting industry. So another thing to consider is that if you're working for an employer, you're probably going to be salaried. And salaried people, you get paid the same amount no matter how many hours you work per week. And so they're going to be expecting overtime, which is to be expected in busy season. But after, in theory, busy season should be over. You should probably have a couple months where you're doing 20 hours a week, and then you're back to 40. That's not what happens. You're doing 50 minimum, 60 more likely, depending on the field that you're in. So again, keep just another argument yet again to maybe consider self-employment where you can control how much clients, how much work you have, where you could say no to clients and you could set your own wage and fee. Factor two, gatekeeping. Uh, Back in the day, it would make a little bit of sense if you were a CPA or any kind of licensed professional, you don't want the market flooded with CPAs. And so over the years, the decades even, the requirements to sit for the CPA exam have increased over time to the point that it is prohibitive. And for whatever either unconscious or malicious reasons, I'm not going to debate which, they were successful. Bravo. Bravo, leaders of the accounting industry. You have created your own shortage, among other reasons, by making it absurd to get the CPA. We could go back to that slide I had with all the detail. I had to shrink the font down just to fit it on one slide. This gatekeeping will continue because, as I mentioned in the previous slide, they are completely out of touch with the economic reality on the ground. There is no serious changes being made within the profession to lessen the requirements to get a CPA. They keep making it more and more difficult, especially with the requirement. Essentially, you have to get a master's degree. And this is bad because it keeps not only younger people, but poorer people out. We want to help out disadvantaged groups and minorities and whoever else. It's like, yeah, so requiring 6 years of college education, that's going to help, huh? That's really going to help out. Uh, and then this also obviously gatekeeping contributes to the shortage because the hurdle's too high to get in, at least at the CPA level. I get a kick out of it. They're so precious. And then they complain. You can find articles like, yeah, there's a shortage. They complain about the shortage. Again, this makes it difficult for you to get into traditional W-2 employment, but it also provides a great incentive to not go traditional or to kind of, again, you're all going to have to go through some form of traditional employment, but it provides a compelling argument against getting your CPA. Hey, man, I'm not going to have family or kids, or it's unlikely. And even if I did, I could go become an enrolled agent. I can work on my own. And then the shortage at your firm where now people are working 105 hours a week, that's a you problem. I got a bunch of clients. I bill out at $60 an hour. I make my handsome, whatever, 100. Well, technically, if that was 40 hours a week, I'm making $120,000 a year. But you know what? I like my family. I like working at home. I work my 30 hours a week and then I homeschool my kids or I raise my kids or I go fishing or whatever it is that I go live my life and I still make enough money and I don't have a commute. So right there, I got an extra 5 to 10 hours a week. The gatekeeping, not only is it unfair and irrational, it just makes working in traditional employment all that much more difficult.